In the past videos till now, we learned how to use all the simulation elements here we find on the left of the viewport, okay? But in Anima, we not just work with simulation elements, we work also with characters, okay? And these characters have animations, and how can we directly in Anima make some changes to these characters? Well, what we could do is to export the character outside, go to our 3D program, change the animation, then re-exporting, re-importing, and so on and so forth. This is a quite slow workflow, okay? At least for these characters, okay? So in this video, we'll start learning about a new mode of working inside Anima. At the moment, we have been working in the drawing mode, okay? As you can see at the top right panel, the mode panel, we have here drawing, okay? We already know how these icons work, and we know that these icons represent each of the panels of the interface, okay? But what does this button? We still don't know. This is a toggle button, okay? And this is the button that let us switch between the drawing mode and the editing mode. Okay, so left click on it and the interface will change a bit. Now, don't worry, I will explain you everything. We will see in the next videos also more in detail every aspect of this mode. Okay, so let's start by noticing that we have a split viewport in the center with two different versions of this character. On the left side, we have the full render, and on the right side, we have the model without colors, but with several circles on top of it. We'll talk about this in a moment. Then at the bottom, we have this timeline, as you can see by default is playing, okay? And this is a simple timeline, okay? There are no options, nothing more than a play button to stop it, and this label to just scrap the animation. But which animation is? Well, this character, if I left click on the play button, as you can see, is moving, okay? The animation he's playing is the current animation selected in the library motion clips on the left. Actually, the library motion clips and the library actors are the two panels we already know. The rest is a bit new, okay? Then, here we only have library actors and motion clips because this editing mode is thought to let us make changes to the characters, to the skeleton and to the animations. Let's talk about this. Then I will stop the play button, okay? And then we go to the right side where there are the two new panels we don't know. For example, the actor information, which contains all information about the actor, and then where we can set mostly visual aspects of this model. This or those we select, okay? And then we have the tags panel. The tags panel is where we set and change tags assigned to a specific character. Tags are labels, in this case, are a way to organize and define properties in a certain way for actors, okay? We have two lists here. On the right, the system tags, which are the tags that come within Anima, and then the current tags, which are those system tags or custom tags. We will see how to create custom tags at the moment assigned to this character. At the moment, for example, there is the default tag, so this is a default character. A male, it is a male, is a middle-aged, so we define a bit of which category of ages, and that is Middle Eastern, okay? Well, if we change the selection in the library actors on the left, this tags changes, okay? This is quite simple and easy to understand, okay? One important thing that you have to consider is the following. According to the combination between the selection in the library actors and the library motion clip, the interface can change. So some panels can appear or disappear. We will see about this. Now, let's talk about the viewport, okay? this split viewport. How can we navigate inside this split viewport? Now, we don't have to use the Alt keyboard button, okay? We just have to left click and rotate. Now, as you can see here, we have 3 buttons at the top, and you probably have one of these buttons, in this case the first one from the left, activated. What this does is, if we left click, is synchronize the viewports, okay? Now, this is very useful, but sometimes it's quite useful also to, by left clicking on it, disabling this option and then having the 2 viewports independent. Now, why is that? Well, first of all, let's talk which are the differences apart from the visual ones, okay? We use the left split viewport to watch what? Well, obviously the model in the full render, okay? We have several markers here. We have 2 markers for the feet, left foot and right foot, and then where the feet are placed, and then a circle with an arrow, okay? This defines the direction towards which this character is facing by default, okay? And then what we need here is this viewport is to watch, to have a look at the animation we have selected in the library motion clips. Now, at the moment, there is no animation. This is not true, really. If I left click on the play button, as you can see, this girl is moving, okay? Now, this is a sort of idle pose, neutral pose. And this is, we have this pose here because in the motion clip, we have this first option selected, okay? This is also called rest pose. Is the default pose if you prefer, okay? So this is very important because according to the combination of selection between the library actors and motion clips, we will learn that we will be able to do some things and we will not be able to do some others, okay? Important to understand. Then on the other side, so for example, we can select this animation here, and as I told you, a couple more panels have appeared. On the right, the categories panel has appeared, and then at the bottom, on top of the timeline, the advanced loop and cycle editor is appeared. This is a more technical editor, okay? So we will talk about this in the last video. As you can see here, we can view, have a look at the animation. But what can we do with the other split viewport? Well, here, as you can see, we have several circles, okay? All these circles are controls that let me make changes to the skeleton inside this model, okay? So I can, for example, be watching this animation, then making changes here to the skeleton and see the effects on the animation. So in this way, we can adjust, create custom animations, custom characters inside Anima without having to go outside. Okay, this is very, very important and very powerful. Now, about this, we have this button activated. Some of you could have this disabled, but I have it enabled. Now, what this does is to make it possible to work with the skeleton structure, in a symmetrical way. Let's say that I want to change something of this arm, then the effect will be used also on the other arm. Now, let me stop here. This one. Now, this is very useful, but consider this, that we as humans have a basic symmetrical structure, but we are not perfectly symmetrical. So one important thing is to remember is this. We can start by working in a symmetrical way, and then when we are fine with the first step, the first phase of our work, we can break the symmetry and create those variations that, from my point of view, are one of the secrets for realism. Okay? This is important. Then we have, for example, always on this right panel, these buttons here, which are some tools we can use, and we will see them when working on the skeleton. Now, The last thing about these three buttons is the middle button. Okay, if I try to left click on it now, it doesn't work because at the moment I'm using one of these characters. In the library actors, there is also first option, which is the global actor. Okay, so I can left click on it, and what happens is that it's shown the global actor or dummy character or default character as you prefer. Okay, these are the characters that appears in Animalite when we go over the limit of rigged characters. Okay, now if I left click on this button here, I can switch between the male default character and the female default character. Okay, very simple as it is. Now, as the last thing we will see in this video, we are going to talk about the categories. I will stop the animation. Okay, and on the right there is this categories a panel. One important thing is that if this panel is not here, is because there is you have selected the system, okay, motion clip, okay, the rest pose. As you can see, as soon as I change this, changes the characters, the interface, and so on and so forth. So when I select here the global actor, then automatically a motion clip will be selected at the moment in the running, and the categories panel appears. Now, which is the difference between categories and tags? Well, the tags are related to the actors, okay? The categories are related to motion clips. And as you can see here, we have a running animation, motion clip, and here we have current categories, and the only one assigned is the locomotion run, and we already know this name, okay? And then we have the system categories. And here we find chair, conversation, escalator, locomotion stop, square, which are the categories we have used to assign a whole number, a whole group of animations to a specific simulation element, okay? So this is the difference between categories and tags. Categories related to motion clips, tags related to the models, okay? Then I'll stop here the animation and we'll stop here also the video. I'll see you in the next ones.